Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the weekly Twin Flame astrology forecast and tarot scope for the week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. Welcome into a brand new week of cosmic intense energies. We have a very powerful week ahead for the Twin Flame Collective. We have the Lionsgate portal wide open today. Actually, today is my mom and stepdad's 13th wedding anniversary. They actually got married 13 years ago on Lionsgate, and they are twin flames. So, powerful portal gateway. And so, a lot of soul activations have been taking place, a lot of influx of light code activations, and a lot of shifts when it comes to stepping into our destiny, our fated pathway. And so, a lot is kind of being moved out of the way in order to make way for these twin flame unions. And so a lot of us have been rattled lately when it comes to our shadow self. And Venus is about to enter into Leo this week. So this is going to bring a lot of illumination, especially with the Aquarius super full moon on the 11th. And so this is the perfect galactic gateway for these energies to peak for the twin flames. And so I feel this Syrian gateway portal that's been celebrated since ancient times. This is where the constellation Orion and Sirius align with the pyramids of Giza. And so this is where we can bridge into these higher dimensional states and ground them in the earthly planes. And so this gateway is huge. Many of us have been feeling it building, and we're going to be feeling these powerful light codes throughout the week. So you might be experiencing some ascension symptoms. I know for myself, I've been sleeping really good lately. I've been sleeping in. I didn't sleep in this morning, but I usually normally get up between like 4:30 and 6 o'clock in the mornings, and all last week I was sleeping until at least 8 o'clock or later. And so you might be finding yourself needing a little bit more rest, a lot more water intake. I've been really thirsty lately. And so as we, enter into this connection with the spiritual planes, our higher self is really noticeable, I feel. You might be noticing that reconnection with your twin's higher self, especially in dream space. I know many divine feminines have been very much disconnected from the counterpart and the journey recently. And I feel there's been a lot of shifts happening in the physical 3D reality in order to get that message to finally arrive for this moment of awakening. And so I feel, Lionsgate is talked about every single year. Yes, it's the time of manifestation and prosperity. And I went in depth into that energy in a previous video, which I will tag to the end in case you missed it. But I feel this really is, of course, manifestation, a very magical time, but it's also a time of heightened triggers coming to the surface, right? And so when we get all of these massive light codes streaming in, it triggers all of these falsehoods to the surface, right? So any false constructed ego self templates that have been constructed to create limits, everything's kind of being come undone and unraveled in the energies. And so these light codes do trigger all of these ego masks to kind of fall, but we kind of got to go into the shadows in order to purge these illusions, right? And so I feel for the masculine twin, it's a big, strong message of there is no hiding anymore. They're not going to be able to hide. They're going to have to be triggered. They're going to have to go through this process in order to get them to recognize where they have been holding themselves back with their skewed perception of the world, this connection, and everybody they're connected with. And so above all else, their skewed perception of self, right? And so a lot of us are leaving behind these old twin flame templates, these old twin flame cycles. We're releasing these lower karmic connections and these negative, repetitive relationship cycles once and for all. And we have to go through this purging and this clearing in order to activate these higher timelines that we are here to step into. And so many of us have already noticed the intense triggering taking place within the collective. I've been doing all right but I can see it all over social media. There's a lot of tricky situations coming up. There's a lot of people getting blasted publicly on social media when it comes to some triggering endings. And so all of these triggers really are helping us shift out of these blocks of negativity, right? And so we can always go in and clear any blockages through meditation. So I do highly recommend meditation if the energy is very thick, because we're learning a lot of powerful lessons when it comes to love this week. This is a powerful week of new beginnings, the possibility of new beginnings. But we do have to release the past, the outworn belief patterns, the outworn states of consciousness, and that is all showing up again this week in order to get us to be fully aware of using our intentions wisely, manifesting, moving forward. And so the more clear we are on what it is we want, the more room we make in our lives for these upgrades, these higher dimensional upgrades, and these incoming light codes. And so rest is needed as we purge these low dense energies, because we're all being asked to embody more light and to step into love and unity and embracing our authentic soul's identity. And in order to do that, we do have to go through some very intense emotional purging, and full moons are for releasing. And so I think this week is going to be a little bit challenging when it comes to any emotional purging or a deep emotional cleansing process. And we do need to look at this clearing as a gift. As painful as it is, this release that takes place this week will help us shift into these higher points, these higher destinations. And I feel we're all still feeling that North Node Uranus conjunction still. So do expect some major sudden changes, shakeups, and upheaval. And this is all part of our destined pathway. And so a lot of this change, I think, is happening for the Divine Masculine, to the Divine Masculine. And I think somehow he's feeling just like an observer of this, but it's really the Divine Masculine soul and higher self maneuvering him on his behalf for this breakthrough to take place. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are being asked to focus on breath work and centering ourselves in the present moment, because there's really a lot going on in the masculine's life during this period, and we're being pushed to the limits. And so staying aligned and centered, Divine Feminine, is really going to allow you to, remember this deep sense of your soul's purpose. And this really is part of the twin flame plan. The feminine has to come into alignment of her truth, alignment of stepping forward onto the path. And this is when all of these big changes can happen within these twin flame dynamics. So I feel a lot of the feminines are being encouraged to follow their dreams, and likely receiving all kinds of guided inspiration in order to shake things up and make things exciting. And I feel a lot of the masculines are trying to find their courage of heart to step towards happiness with the feminine. And so a lot of intense Leo energies for sure. And Leo is our vitality. It is the sun energy, but it is also the ego. And so all of these Leo energies can bring forward a lot of anger, a lot of aggression. You think of a lion can get very violent and very wild when it's not a happy lion. And so if we work on focusing this energy wisely, we can move forward. But we don't want to get wrapped up in any conflict this week. And so think of Leo, the heart. It rules the heart. It rules our passion, our creativity. And I feel many of the masculines are going to feel brave enough to move towards the direction of the feminine, and to stop playing it safe is kind of what I'm feeling. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines have been aching for the Divine Feminine in a lot of shadow energy, longing for the feminine, hoping that it's not too late. We're not here to just give up. We do have to go into that longing and follow that longing, because that's our soul saying, hey, this is where I'm calling you to go to. Spirit is saying this longing is telling you it's time to shatter the veils of illusions. And the veils are lifting rapidly in various ways. And so all of these triggered feelings are to bring forward these sudden revelations and to remove ourselves from these karmic happenings. And so everything that is taking place this week, like a wake, is meant to happen exactly as it's playing out. And so this Aquarius full moon is all about all of these old illusions coming up again for another layer of awareness. And we're going to have to be extra aware of being present in the moment so we don't get dragged back down into the shadows and feelings of hopelessness and pessimism and feelings of being unloved, and that we're never ever going to reach that union energy. And so it's this battle between truth and illusion. And so how do you know an illusion from the truth, right? Divine truth is always going to be rooted in love, harmony, unity, light, peace. That is the nature of these universal energies, unconditional love. We are love at the core. So if you're in a power imbalance or a power struggle with somebody, then that's likely a clear indication you're in an illusion of some sort, which clouds your judgment, brings forward sadness, anger, disappointment, and all of these low vibration states of consciousness that are all rooted in fear. Fear is an illusion. And so when we play into the fear, that's when we forget that we came from love at the core. Our soul's identity came from unconditional love. Our soul's identity is always connected with the divine. And so if you're feeling low, I think it's time to expand these emotions, right? And any heaviness is signaling you're in a lie, you're in an illusion. And so breaking free from that illusion. And I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very unsettled this week. A lot of the feminines are open and clear. A lot of the feminines have cleared, and we're feeling more invigorated after last week's clearing, and we're more open than ever before. And so even though we might not be sure what lies ahead, the feminine is open. And so I feel this is really triggering all of that wounding, all of that baggage in the masculine system to be purged. And I feel they're having a rough time allowing this process to take place because of fear, right? And so a lot of the masculines are being asked to go into their fearless heart, to go into the meaning of their life. And you think of the lion and what the lion represents spiritually, and it is about having courage, not being that cowardly lion, being that brave lion heart, right? Which is all about being true to ourselves, living with that open heart as authentically as we can. And so, in order to be fearless, we do have to face our shadow self. We do have to go into the darkness. And so it's been likely many have been feeling bothered by the darkness recently when it comes to dredging up the past in order to fully release it, And so anything coming up for clearing this week is showing up for a reason. And so I think get ready to be spiritually tested, get ready for the energies to be immense. And when you reach that, graduation level, the rewards can be unlimited. And so we're all being asked to go within and connect to our own light, to connect to our own inner guidance, to connect to our own soul and our twin soul, and to detach from all of the human collective, because there's a lot being stirred up, showing like the universe stirring that shit pot up when it comes to all of these galactic light codes saturating the collective, which is creating a lot of static and triggering. And so people might be acting crazy this week. All full moons bring out a little bit of crazy in people. Because a lot of this inner darkness is being brought to the surface. And so this means we do have to face our fears. We do have to look at any old traumas or any old ancestral lineage programming in our consciousness when it comes to negative attachments and negative relationship patterns, and how we can benefit from separating ourselves from that negativity, stepping into love once and for all. Because anything is possible when you get grounded in the heart. And so I feel many have been questioning the truth of their twin flame connection lately. I've really noticed on YouTube several videos.
Mom, I love you.
I love you too, Savvy. And, there's a lot of non-believers in the twin flame journey. And there is a lot of naysayers out there. And until you have experienced this energy yourself, it's kind of hard to believe in this phenomenon, right? And so I feel It's important that we anchor in the truth of the deep knowing of this connection more than ever before, because you know who you are, you know who your twin is, and we did come here for union and unity and to support the collective as part of this ascension journey. And so get ready for a massive shift in perspectives this week as we release all of this old emotional baggage, which tries to keep us stuck in this never-ending loop of suffering and lack of love. And you know, in order to feel that love, we do have to love ourselves. And so a lot of karmic negativity that we've been playing into is being phased out. It has been being phased out over the last several years. And so many of us for the last several years have been facing triggers in order to get us to leave it behind when it comes to all of this outdated, conflicting programming, where it's like the push and the pull, the running and the chasing, the opposition between masculine and feminine energies, this idea of suffering, where we've experienced all of these abuses of power, and releasing this once and for all and remembering why we came here, right? Why we decided to descend into the 3D reality, this life. And so love is always going to be meant for every single one of us. And so if we get pulled down into these old, outdated world beliefs, and most of us do, most of us get pulled into these negative human patterning cycles. And we do need to be careful. We need to be mindful of what we're feeding our mind, our body, and our soul. You're going to want to guide your mind and guard your mind very carefully. Pay attention to what you're watching. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. If you're constantly watching the news and playing into fear, well, that's what you're going to keep manifesting in your reality. What frequency, what dial do you want to tune into, right? And so what do you need to release to not allow this negativity to make space in your mind? And so love is always the path forward. Love, purpose, truth, integrity. And so everything we reconstruct moving forward needs to be reinforced by love, purpose, truth, accountability, in order to release all of these human cycles of suffering and abuse and conflict. And so this might even be happening at a social level with some friends as well. And so in order to embrace true love, we have to awaken fully to our truth, and we have to get rooted in blissful joy. And you know, nothing less will suffice, right? So when we allow our soul to guide us forward, that's when we can finally release these past grievances, bitterness, resentments, and these burdens can be lifted once and for all. And when we release these burdens, then we do fully open up to love, and we understand we were always love at the core. And so it's not about becoming something else. It's not about changing who you are for this union. It's about removing all of the masks when it comes to stuffing down these pains, these traumas, these burdens. It's about removing the masks, removing all of these false senses of identity that were placed upon us from our parents, our teachers, the education system, the government, these old outdated program beliefs. And it is about stepping into love, stepping into truth, stepping into harmony. And so releasing everything that was never yours to carry. Many of us carry the pain of our mother's womb and our grandmother's womb and so on. And so when we allow this process to flow with ease, that's when we can come into the truth of this complete union and harmony. And so any cognitive dissonance that is taking place is coming from the human world, like a virus, like a computer virus, right? Like a bug, like a bug. And so clearing all of that false programming, right? And being aware so we can go deeper into love. And in order to go deep into love, you do have to go deep into grief as well, right? And the more pain you can carry and release, the deeper that love can be brought forward, right? And so this is going to be a big week of processing, shifting, recalibrating. A lot of downloads. I've been getting so many crown chakra tingles for days and days. Sometimes the download comes through right away. And I'm saying it right now, I'm getting tingles there. And sometimes it takes a couple times of meditation for that message to come through. So it's about rediscovering our power and bridging heaven and earth with our spiritual gifts. So this can be a positive week of a lot of invigorating light. It can also be a triggering week. Not gonna say that that's not a possibility, but ultimately, I think as a pair, as a couple, we are being asked to remember why we came here. We came here to release these illusions. We came here to bring that light, to be these light bringers, and to shine this light into our physical reality, and to embrace our high dimensional self, and to, connect with that high dimensional avatar in order to bring this magnetized energy forward. And so a lot of us are being reharmonized. A lot is happening behind the scenes. And so do pay attention to your dreams. I think a lot of us are reconnecting in dream space. And I think many of us are being asked to stand up for ourselves. Make a choice. Stick with that choice. Stand up for that choice without fear. Don't be afraid to go against the crowd. Don't be afraid to break free from that box that society put you in. And don't be afraid to be rejected. In order to embody your soul's truth, sometimes you got to face that fear of rejection. And not everybody is going to accept you, and that's okay. When we anchor into a state of balance, we do attract people that are meant for us, and we can attract our counterpart from that place of true love without any outer conditions attached. And so a big week, a big week. And so I think perspective is really going to play a huge role in the energies this week for the twins. The more you step into independence, interdependence, and your authentic truth, the easier it is for love to show up on the outside. We should never, ever have to chase love. We should never, ever have to chase anything down. When you're chasing something down, you're just screaming at the universe, it's eluding me, and it's going to keep eluding you. And so all of these powerful shifts are going to be based on your own willingness to shift that perspective, to release these old ideas of that 3D reality, the twin flame connection, and who you are at the core. And so this really is a time to fully consciously use these astral and etherical realms to collect this higher timeline programming that we're here to implement when it comes to these new earth templates that will benefit our own twin flame journey and the human collective on the pathway to bliss. And so I do feel this is a week of reconnecting not only with our own soul, but with our twin soul, and shifting into like a whole nether level, like a whole new world, like the Aladdin song, a whole new world. Come on a magic carpet ride with me. And so when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at will change. And so it really is a lot of mental perspectives coming up. So let's jump in with some cards. And we're going to break it down to the masculine, to the feminine. And let's just see where this goes. Oh my God. I think there's a divine masculine preparing to take action for a reconciliation. So many of the divine masculines are going to be taking action. They're going to start being assertive. They're going to start using their spiritual logic to allow this progression forward. So I do feel the masculines are being prepared for that reunion, for that reconciliation is on the horizon. So big energies this week. I can't believe that. That was interesting. Yeah, so these soul connections are coming into a reconciliation energy. And we do, the twins play such a significant role as part of this collective evolution. And we are stepping into these long-term lifetime partnerships, and I feel get ready to play and have some fun again. So let's dig into the divine masculine side first for the week ahead. I'm still like, I can't believe that's how I cut the deck, but everything is divinely orchestrated, right? So let's get these out. Beautiful energies this week. So I feel a lot of the masculines are honoring their mind, treating their mind, their body, and their soul as sacred right now. And they are nourishing themselves. They are stepping into making healthy decisions for themselves. And they are being guided from spirit to evolve beyond that old, outdated relationship pattern. And so I feel this new igniting passion for many of the masculines. I feel the masculines really are being drawn to the feminine that is speaking to their heart and their soul at this time. A lot of new creative ideas related to work and what it is the twins came here to do, and imparting wisdom. So I feel the masculine is preparing to step forward to impart this wisdom, and he is definitely surrounded by all kinds of healing light as he goes through this massive clearing of, you know, all of these outdated contracts, unwanted attachments, all of these painful memories of the past, and all of these unhealthy energies are being released this week. And there is about to be a powerful shift for these unions this week, and I feel a breakthrough is at hand. I also feel many of the masculines have been feeling very much alone. And so you, Divine Feminine, can go into meditation and connect with your twins higher self and envelope them in your love, envelope them in compassion and protection as they work on releasing all of these unwanted thoughts and circumstances, because they are about to achieve a breakthrough. And I think your hard work is paying off, but I do feel a lot of the masculines are feeling very alone, going through this deeply embedded healing the soul's dormant DNA, facing their deepest wounds and hurts and fears, and they're definitely very much alone, learning forgiveness as part of liberation. So let's see what needs to come through on the Divine Feminine side. Look at that divine timing. I do think get ready to rediscover something you didn't know before. I do feel like this getting to know each other all over again. And divine timing, I do feel, is in the feminine's favor this week for these reunions. So empathy, you're definitely going to need to show your counterpart compassion. I think there are a lot of masculines really struggling with this process at this time. And I feel there's likely going to be like another layer of this past life wounding coming up. All of these past life wounds coming up, and a conversation about that. And so I think a conversation and an understanding will be reached as to why we did have to walk these different timelines and go into this separation, right? And so a lot of the feminines are also very much closely connected with their guides and their higher self at this point in time, and learning some very valuable lessons about self-worth, self-value. Going through expansion. I think get ready to walk through the gateway portal of this new beautiful union energy, and to show your masculine compassion, because I do think it's going to be difficult for the masculine to come forward and talk about all of this pain, all of this wounding. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are really being mindful of any negative self-talk. Do not go into that negative self-talk spiral this week. Know that you are beautiful, you have a purpose, and it's time to release all of these limiting behaviors, because they will create energetic depletion and stagnancy. And so look at everything on the journey as joy. Everything had to play out this way. As painful as the separation stage is, this is where we move forward, knowing that we're never separate, we're never alone, and we can really look at the entire journey from a place of compassion. So these soul connections are coming together. We do have a life purpose, we do have a mission, and we do have life's work to do here, an important journey to fulfill here as part of, you know, teaching people how to live consciously. And so get ready to make some major life decisions this week. Life does not happen to us. We manifest everything that takes place in our life. And so we have to choose better. And when we choose better, we do have to release all of these elements that can no longer remain. These negative people, these negative toxic behaviors, or anything that just isn't working that needs to be purged. And this is where we learn surrender, and we can step into mastery. So releasing the ego. When we release the ego, we're not resisting, we're not pushing, we're not pulling, we're flowing. And so that is when we can reach the conclusion of mastery, right? And then we can take that Band-Aid off. We know that deep healing has taken place. And then we can step into having that face-to-face conversation. So let's grab some illumination oracle messages. So yeah, obstacle ahead. And I think the obstacle is facing what needs to leave your life. And, you know, sometimes we have to lose things and grieve endings and hit those walls in order to have that new cycle. So definitely grieving the ending of a karmic contract, perhaps, which has created all kinds of challenges and blockages. So like I said, I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But, you know, after the masculine faces these challenges, there is going to be a fresh start around the corner. So let's see what needs to come through on the masculine side first. Love. I just saw love. So I feel the masculine is deeply, deeply missing you at this time, drawn to you, missing you. And it is about love, and I think divine time is up. I also feel the masculine is losing his patience in the karmic contract. I feel losing his patience, and there's likely going to be some type of aggravated accusation or breakdown in that connection to redirect the masculine on the right path, because he is drawn towards the feminine. Missing her love, definitely missing her love, missing her deeply, and making plans to find his determination to take that risk towards this past life connection, right? So there's some big change coming, because the masculine is experiencing a lot of illumination in the energies. So a major wake-up call. That full moon in Aquarius is really illuminating a lot. And so divine feminine, we're all done. We're living the past. We're ready to grow and expand. So let's see what needs to come through on the divine feminine side. Moving. So you might be planning on moving soon. Maybe buying a new house together, moving in together is a message. But I feel a lot of the feminines recently have met somebody new as well. I do feel that, which has triggered all of this fear. All of this fear, regret, and feelings of inadequacy. And this is where the mask falls. So I feel many of the feminines, I know for myself, a walk-in, a new connection, somebody new that, you know, is able to build intimacy with you. And this is triggering all of this fear, regret, and inadequacy, because I kind of feel a lot of the feminines have been moving towards something new. And this is going to create a shift. So this very well could just be the final leg of the karmic lesson journey. And I do feel there is clarity coming. So maybe some of the feminines have fully released and they're moving on to meeting somebody new, creating intimacy and a new connection. I also feel maybe the feminines fear if they fully connect with this new person, they fear having a lot of regret. But there's a major, major karmic lesson being learned. And I feel no more hiding the truth. I feel there is going to be no more hiding the truth. So let's grab some tarot. I don't want to be too long on here today. I'm going to use that new deck that I got, the Transient Light Tarot. Look at that bottom of the deck, 5 of Cups, and the Chariot. So, you know, moving on from regret, remorse, guilt, and shame, and you know what's going to get that ball rolling? We got to speak up, right? We got to speak up. So let's see what needs to come through for the divine masculine. I don't know what my cat is eating over there. I don't know. Savvy brought down something for the cats, but anyway, we'll get the masculine's energy first, guys. Two of Coins, 3 of Swords. The Wheel reversed, the Hanged One reversed, the Hermit reversed. So, yeah, so the masculine, I feel, has been deep within this longing, this pain, this ache, this heartache. And, you know, he's been all tied up in a situation. There is going to be a realignment because, you know, the fence-sitting energy, the juggling, the back and forth, it's no longer going to work. And so I noticed there's like threads on all of these cards. I never noticed that. Okay, so threads. We got threads on every single card. And so with the Wheel reversed, challenge, delay, It's like he's on like this sinking ship going down with the karmic, and I feel a total shift in perspective. Huge loss of fortune, which is going to push the masculine into taking that risk, coming out of hermit mode. So Virgo energy, Pisces energy, deep within the pain. And I feel a lot is unraveling this week in order for the masculine to come forward with that truth. So I feel definitely rising as that true leader. The champion of swords, or the king of swords, honest, right? The king of swords is like an authority figure, a spiritual authority figure, comes from a place of integrity and honesty. And I think flying in with some truth, because that flame has been ignited, okay? And then look at that, we got the bee. So I feel recently the masculine's been stung, which is getting him out of the closet, coming out of hiding, coming out of introspection after a huge loss that has shifted his perspective, and coming in for that Holy Grail union. So there's the energies synthesizing, you know, the Kundalini activation and the intertwining of this love. And I feel there's that crossroads, once again, more threads coming untangled, getting ready to come in and proclaim victory. The Hierophant, the proclaimer. Wisdom has been gained. It's time to open up a new book on the journey. It's time to travel towards these divine unions. So let's take a look on the feminine side. Taurus energy. The Devil reversed. That's so interesting. Look at that. Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Crown of Swords. So the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. Wow. And these all come out in reversed, except for the one. Look at that, present. That's what I talked about. We need to stay in the present moment. All we have is the now. And that is going to bring in this justice, this karmic rebalancing. So breaking through the challenges, meeting each other halfway, and stepping into, you know, that truth. The feminine does have this all-seeing eye. Where did that go? So we got the Crown of Swords and the Champion of Swords. True divine pair, a soul match. And I feel whatever was unjust is being balanced out. The twins came here to be these pillars of strength. And look at that. Cutting those ties with anything toxic. So scissors cutting the ties with the snake. I also feel, you know, many of the feminines, and I was talking to a good friend overseas yesterday, and many of us in the beginning, it is like this deep obsession, right? We're obsessed with watching videos about the journey, understanding this connection, obsessed with the masculine and what they're doing, and obsessed of, you know, the karmic as well, right? And so releasing all of that. I know we had a good laugh, me and my one girlfriend, and we don't even care anymore, right? Was the energy. It's not that we don't care, but it's like allowing the masculine to go his own way and journey his journey, knowing that we can't obsess over this. We can't feed the fear, and cutting all of those negative attachments, which I feel is bringing, you know, the ending to anything that's not aligned, right? So withdrawing from anything that is not meant to move you forward. I also feel the feminines have been met with a lot of blocks and challenges recently. I know for myself, it felt like I was put to a dead stop for about a week. Everything came to a dead stop. I had no drive. So the Apprentice of Vessels would be like the Page of Cups or the Knight of Cups. No drive, closed off in the heart, definitely feeling creatively blocked, Cancer energy. And I feel the blocks are going to be removed, because we do have the Eight of Vessels reversed with the Three of Wands, right? And so we're picking up the broken pieces. We're putting ourselves back together the way that we want to this time, right? And we're taking those appropriate actions, but there's still that void, right? There's still that piece missing on the inside, which is the love of the masculine on the heart, right? And so I feel get ready for movement forward. The wait is over, and the masculine is returning, coming back from what he had previously walked away from. And so there is a lot of truth coming forward in the energies this week. And we are blocking and cutting those cords from any toxic relationship with the Lovers reversed, the Eight of Wands reversed, and the Six of Wands reversed. We are releasing the past. This is past energy, needs to go, blocking all of these past lovers that there was no victory. It was rooted in opposition, conflict, chaos, and challenges. And, you know, holding on to that really was creating blocks. And so releasing the past once and for all is what I'm feeling. But to release the past, we got to dig it up. We got to unearth it. We got to unbury it. We got to look at it. We got to spiral through the emotions in order to fully step into the present. So let's get combined energy for the week ahead. Ace of Swords. So a lot of truth. Apprentice of Coins. Page of Coins. So brand new beginning. The time is now to speak, to plant those seeds well for the future. And I feel, yeah, when the second we release everything that is not our wish fulfillment, releasing all of those hands trying to get into our pot, that is when this brand new golden opportunity will be presented and we can build those legacies for the future. So what is it you want to water? What is it you want to grow? Because we've got a golden opportunity this week for a brand new truthful beginning. But we got to come out of this lack. We got to have that conversation about all of these mistruths, all of the broken truths, all of the betrayal and backstabbing, and all of the suppression we've gone through, right? And so facing the broken promises, coming out of that lack mentality, and starting a brand new journey. So let's get a couple last messages from Spirit. I think, yeah, if you're wondering if this will happen, the answer is yes. We are in this union portal, and it will require attention. It will require action if we are to reach a solution. So any last messages from Spirit? I think the feminine is needing to offer some healing hands to the feminine, or to the masculine, that I feel is in deep need of her energy at this time. And I feel the masculine is getting rigorously honest with himself about this connection and what has been going on, purifying his space, breaking away from those toxic situations that really have held him back from stepping into his higher purpose. And learning forgiveness, and that kind of fell out on the feminine side. So we'll put that right in the middle. So I feel the masculine is getting rigorously honest with himself this week. Definitely forgiving himself, liberating himself from all of that mistreatment, trying to forgive himself for mistreating the feminine, and moving on from her prematurely. And I feel on the feminine side, this is a very auspicious time. I think prosperity, you're manifesting prosperity, unlimited abundance, and happiness. And I do think the masculine is in need of your light right now. So shine that light bright, remain in high vibration. We are being tested this week by all kinds of circumstances, people trying to get in the way, and we really need to trust in the universal communication coming through the signs and the synchronicities, because we know exactly what it is we need to do, and these signs and these syncs are appearing at the right time in order to illuminate what it is we need to do next. So a lot of spiritual paths are being activated and illuminated this week. And this is where the twins can take time to reconnect in the heart space. So really, really evaluate what situations you're connected to that are unhealthy, and get emotionally vulnerable. Vulnerability is strength, and I do feel the masculine will be reaching out. They deeply miss you, and if they do not leave that false contract on their own, they're about to get a rude awakening. They're about to get thrown out. So feminine, everything's all right. Release the need to know what's going on. Release the obsessive thoughts, and release. We don't need to know the outcome or how it's going to play out. I think We're stepping into our spiritual calling, our spiritual responsibilities, and releasing this victimization of self. We all have the ability and the choice to take our power back. So where do you need to watch out for people that have been depleting you, people that have not been reciprocating what it is you bring to the table? And what lesson are you learning here that is very important to get you to refocus your energy to attain the goal of union? And that's kind of what I've got for the week ahead, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a twin soul or a personal reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below. Keep in mind, guys, I am booked all this week. I'm taking the last couple of weeks off of summer break with the kids, and I will be back up and running when they go back to school the first week of September, which spaces are already filling up. So keep that in mind. It is a little bit of a wait time. We got about a 3.5 week lead time for booking in with me. So if you would like to book, I suggest sending that message. The email address is in the description box below. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead, and I can't wait to see you all again next time. Thank you.